All right, it looks like I'm live. I know it's been a few days. I don't know, guys. Part of the thing is when I'm making videos, I it takes more time than you think, especially like well planned out videos. And I've been working a lot of hours, so it's been kind of tough. And then what I really want to spend my evenings doing has been getting Fatal ready to go out the door, which we're in a really good place right now. Actually, I'm going to draw. I'm doing some drawing today. It's going to be a draw stream because on the Alterna Comics campaign there were two backers who got a sketch card, monster sketch card, and so I am going to do those now. We'll see how far we get here. And then after that, I'm gonna go finish pre-press. Like literally, I should have it finished tonight. That's how close I am. It has been a wild ride. But when it's finished, it's gonna be pretty nice because I don't know. I'll just send it out and then I it feels like such a clean slate. I don't know how else to say it. Clean slate is exactly what it is. Anywho, let's see who's there. Snuggy Jr., great to see you. We have Aloise the viewer. Hello, great to see you. Apex Comics. I remember the bullpen. Was it because I was trying to think? Was it a TV show? What was? And I looked up. It's just the Marvel bullpen. Was there a stream about it too? I kind of thought it would be fun to do a version of hey, the only point is just to work on comics, but be live and hang out. So it feels like you're working in the bullpen. Thursday nights have been my write night, and writing is not very interesting to stream because you can't really talk while you're writing. But drawing it is a thing, and with Fatal being finished, with Fatal being finished, I'm actually going to spend a little bit more time drawing, and I'm going to make that part of my workflow that I'm doing some drawing. So I don't know. We'll see, but it would be kind of fun. Like, I did invite some people totally like last minute, but like it'd be fun to like hang out with Eric and just draw, like just work on comics, like, in any capacity, it doesn't matter. But yeah, get people on and I don't know. People stream video games all the time, right? Everyone's saying hello. I think let's see, Paul Riley's here. Hello. Hey there. Great to see you. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. I have found when it comes to just drawing in general, but sketch cards, any drawing for me that I have to find. It just looks better if I find a good reference. And I started to think about it, and I think that AI, people are so worried about AI, but I have yet to see AI actually do comic book art. It's more like it pops out a cool picture. But what I would like to see for AI before anyone could really get worried as far as comics go, I would want to see that the AI is making a consistent character. Like you could give it a character design and it could make that character be consistent from panel to panel, doing actions that you wanted it to do. You know what I mean? It's more of like a crapshoot. As far as I know, all of the AI that I've experimented with, it really is a crapshoot. So yeah, so who knows? Anyway, but I did think, AI could be useful for just reference. That's it. Like because you could be like, I want to just see something creepy like that I've never seen before, and pop something in, and then just get a vibe or something. I don't know. Or Google Images to look for something. When does Fatal ship? Well, Fatal's going to the printer. I'm gonna finish it tonight. I want to send it like tonight or tomorrow, first thing in the morning, kind of thing, to the printer. I'm printing locally, and I mean very locally. Like I can actually go in. I'm gonna ask them if I can go in and record some video of the books being printed. That'd be kind of fun to get some video footage of that. But so I don't have long ship times or anything, and they're pretty confident that they can actually get a pretty quick turnaround time. So very realistically, I think it's going to start shipping in January. Even if I got the books in December, I hate to say it, but I'm going to still wait till January because it's there's December's just kind of crazy. There's too much going on, so it'll be December probably. If I get the books, in a couple weeks and I really have them, maybe I could ship out a few just to get them out of the way. But it's a lot of orders, so probably January. That was a long answer, huh? I like learning about the printing side of things. Yeah, it's super interesting. That's actually been one of the aspects of making comics I've been actually pleasantly surprised with. Like it's kind of fun. Like part of it is that you're finishing the book and this is what it all comes down to. Like there's that feeling, that gratification, but it's also, it really truly is really interesting. And it's funny because people that work in printing are usually very passionate about printing. And I don't know, like I don't really get it because it seems like such a boring thing, but it's really not. It's quite interesting. Yeah, take time off for Christmas. That's one thing. My wife has been so incredibly patient with everything comics, especially Fatal. And so I don't want fulfillment to like ruin Christmas. She's she will appreciate that, and that'll make my life good. So I figure the difference is minimal. Bookmark versus sticker campaign is doing great. Thanks for adding a monster sticker, Clint. Thank you, Snuggie. Always fun. I actually want to check on that. Indiegogo. I want to check in on that campaign. I haven't actually looked at Indiegogo in a while. I mean, like at least a week. Let's see. Oh, I found it. Here, I'll share the screen while I'm at it. Present, share screen. There we go. Bookmark versus sticker campaign, $34.97. Very good. Just about at $3,500. Almost 100 backers. That's fantastic, man. Congrats. This is fun because these are usually the swag items that everyone's getting with any given campaign. There's the monster sticker there. You've never seen this before because this is clipped from a page that it's in the upcoming Downcast. That's the Monstro, and he's got a very sharp hook stabbing into something. But I thought that could be a fun sticker because you could make him, chunking into whatever you want. You could stick it anywhere. Pretty fun. Yeah, I love it. Anyway, congrats on this campaign. If you haven't backed it, check it out. I don't even know. I haven't even backed it. I need to back this. Let me post a link. I'll get around to it, I promise. I can't even tell you. I've been so busy every single night, specifically working on Fatal, staying up till 2 a.m. working on things. It's been crazy because this is like go time for me. The response has been mind-blowing. I'm really happy, man. Congrats. My new thing is magnets. I just realized I can stick them on one of my filing cabinets. Stickers have, for me, now that I figured out that I can just stick them on a long box, I've been enjoying getting stickers because I can just fill up this long box and then or short box rather. And when that's full, I can go to the next thing. So that makes it fun too. I like it. Okay. So I'm going to get into some drawing. Just why not? That's what we're going to do. I dropped my phone somewhere. I've had no soda for like 2.5 weeks. And it's been actually really nice. I thought I actually got a Mountain Dew, one of these voltage. And I think it's going to taste a little weird because I haven't had one in a while. We'll go with it though. Let's see. It's the same. But yeah, it's been one of my things to get over. All right, here we go. 2 monster sketches, the Monstro sketches. This is the way it works on these sketch cards. I will screw up probably 4 of these, and then I can finally make one. That's how it goes. I'm gonna try and draw lightly, but it'll happen. Snuggie says no soda. You're right. It's been so much better. I have one tonight, and I feel a little guilty now. I don't know. Here we are. And after this one, I'm going back to no soda. I'm actually just that one little change. This has been good. Losing some weight. All right, Monstro. This is often what I do, not always though. Nacho's just done such a great job with Monstro. Sometimes I just use these circle templates to get his head down, and then I build everything around the head. That's been pretty fun. I took some inspiration from this guy right here. That one's for a bookmark for you. That could have been my best Monstro sketch card, possibly. I don't know that I'm going to do color on this or not. We're going to see. We're going to see how it goes. Dele says, support your local, what do they call those things in Utah? Soda mix shops. Yeah. I have not gone back either since I was making those videos. Made a couple videos about mixed sodas. I haven't gone back. It's not for me. All right, Monstro. I'm just going to guess. This is harder on stream too. Let's see. So I'm actually going to find reference first of a dude like male poses. You always got to be careful because I don't want to see like any dudes posing in a way that I don't want to see them, if you know what I mean. Here, let me share a screen. This would be better if I had some friends on, huh? Okay, here's dude running. Perfect for artist reference photos. It feels like that one's going to come up a lot. Let's see. I mean, these are not the kind of poses we're looking for, right? Male action poses. Let's do that. There's some swords. Punching. Maybe this guy right here. Actually, that's a good one. Okay, so I'm going to look at that. You know I'm looking at that. I'll stop sharing. What happened to my phone? It's under the desk. Okay. Thought someone was texting me about being here. My brother's texting me. All right, here we go. So from there, I'm just going to... Usually what I do is just try to be very quick. I'm not amazing at this, that's for sure. It's got like a lot of back. I always find that interesting, depending on what angle. There's a thigh right there. There's another thigh somewhere over there. And a foot. It's a knee. Bent knee. Shoulder area. I feel like once I figure out the shoulders, everything else gets better. And the hand. Foreshortening is so much easier when you can just see what it looks like. And then there's a head here. Something like that. This could be terrible. I don't know. We will see. Yeah, I really wish... I would really like to draw my own book at some point, and I think the only way to get there is just to do it, and just do it for the sake of doing it, like not for, hey, I'm going to sell this or anything. But I actually watched Animal Farm recently, and I kind of thought it'd be fun to do a project and just draw Animal Farm characters. You guys can't even see that, can you? Or if I can make this lighter. Let's see, turn this down. Oh, you can almost see it. It's kind of weird, like every other. You can almost see it there. It's upside down for you. That'll work. Anyway, I wanted to draw some Animal Farm stuff. I don't really know why. It sounded cool to draw an animal and then have quotes from the book. And, do George Orwell proud, I guess. And if I did a whole bunch of those, I should get better at drawing animals, right? Okay, then Monstro has, can you see that? That's his head. I feel like him, it's head and shoulder. And his shoulders are round. And these like other helmet things, they're mostly round. And this one, probably don't see it because it's behind him. There's a lot of back because he's hunched over. Let's see. This is where I start ignoring the reference because I already got the bones. And that's kind of all I wanted, really. It's got to have thicker thighs than that, man. There we go. It goes down. Something like that. Can you guys see that? It looks pretty bad from where you're sitting. Yeah, it'll get a little bit better. I promise. Yeah, so I thought it'd be fun though if I had if I was actually working on a comic book so you could see it all the way through. And the point wouldn't be, hey, this is a part of the production schedule or something. It's I'm just learning how to draw a book and forcing myself to do it so I can learn. And then maybe, if it's terrible, that's okay. We had the experience. I can do some more. DLA says I used a site called reference.pictures that have free packs you can download. Really? That reference photos are always the big hurdle, I think, for me personally. Because if you can get good references, then I feel like my drawing is so much better. I did this drawing with Spencer Desmond on a stream. I think that's the best thing I've ever drawn. Don't laugh though if that's the best, but I really do. I think it's the best one. But I had a reference and I was just watching a music video that just happened to come up, and I thought I'd give it a try. And you're actually seeing that the right way. She's supposed to be hanging upside down. Watched the music video, paused it, still frame, and then I kind of did my own spin on it. But it was to me, it was like I have to have that, like a black and white reference, or just a reference that you can see shadows and lights really clearly. And I could take my own. I feel like, I don't know. Don't artists draw themselves? Like Rob Liefeld, a big one of his, people would say he drew everybody to look like him. And once I heard somebody say that, I couldn't look at Rob Liefeld the same because I was seeing a Rob Liefeld drawing in his face. All right. Here's probably the circle. And perfect circles are nice. But one thing I've learned just from like looking at Nacho's drawings is that he doesn't as much do perfect circles, and it kind of looks better. But I think for the sake of this card, I'm gonna try it. All right. The other thing too, though, with these is I should probably do music. I don't have that StreamYard plugin. I guess I could share my screen and play music, but then you won't see any of this. Can you see that yet? Gosh, I don't know why it's so... There you go. That's what we have so far. It's a work in progress. So Fatal's shipping out, and I was working on some of the extras for it. And as part of the extras, I always like to have, some kind of article with it where I explain, something with the creation process or, whatnot. And with this one, I wrote an article. It's probably the biggest one. It's still on one page, but probably the biggest one I've done for a book. And I just feel like there's so much you guys don't know about the production of Fatal. And I didn't tell all or anything like that, but it gave you a little bit of perspective. And the title of it is called Murphy's Law. It's probably no surprise, because I cannot believe how much went terribly, terribly wrong, just as far as production. Like any possible moment that something could have gone terribly wrong, it did. But never to the point that I didn't think we'd be able to ship it out or anything. Okay, it was always coming, but it took a very long time. All right, deviating, doing knuckles here. Snuggy says, Monstro self-insert? No. He's cooler than me. I think I was realizing actually yesterday, Monstro would not exist if I didn't write The Secret History of Strata, which was that little extra insert in Downcast Volume 2. And I heard some people say that they weren't sure if they would continue Downcast or not. But then they read that and they realized that there was a lot more to the story. And so they decided to continue following Downcast to Downcast 3. But that actually has Monstro's origin told in it. What I'd really like to do is do a Monstro miniseries and have his whole life. You know, he's been god hunting for a long time. I have like a whole I basically could do 2 separate story arcs that I have ideas for, and I don't know if that'll ever happen or not, but it would be cool. I would like to do it, you know, in a perfect world. Who would draw it? That's another question too. Snuggy says Fatal looks great, but I'm more excited for Downcast 4. There's something about being in that deep into a story. Like, you don't have to introduce things. The characters have already been around. Like, you can just come in and pick up. But I've got high hopes for Downcast 4, as far as like reception goes. As far as the story goes, I'm already pretty excited about it. My wife will often tell me exactly what she thinks. Like, everybody was, you'd think that she would just be like, "Oh, honey, I just love it. You're the greatest writer." No, she's not my mother. She is. She'll tell me exactly what she doesn't like, and she said that Downcast 4 is what she thinks is my best book I've done. So that is a good feeling. All right, let's start inking this thing. I could probably figure out light and shadows though, huh? Maybe I'll do that real quick. So, shadow. And I always realize that I think it just looks better if I figure that out in pencil real quick. Then I know where to put shadows. I could probably spend more time on it, but it's one of those things that just doesn't change. Anyway, yeah, Downcast for Hunting Ground. I think people are going to like it a lot. I'm excited. All right, here we go. And do I just ink? Probably ink freehand so it doesn't look as templated. Is that a word? Why is it so hard to talk and draw at the same time? There we go. Circle. Nacha has done some really good work on Downcast 4. The covers are a little different in that we kind of have the group broken up. So I actually did one cover, since Snuggy, I see you asking about the cover. One cover features Monstro and Jax. Eric drew that cover, and it's still a little different. You don't see a lot of the Monstro. You're looking into his mask, basically. So you can see Jax through the reflection on his mask. Then you have the other cover, which is Matt Weldon, of course, and he did the Joanne cover, and she's with Carver, and a couple of the, where I guess one of the gods has come in. They're fighting, who I have a name for, but then I think I don't really like the name, so I haven't been saying it because I think I want to change the name. We will see. It's not too late to change the name. No one knows yet. There's this little headlight thing right there. All right, we'll keep drawing. So yeah, it's yeah, Delaye says Downcasters is a step up from the previous books. Monstro is the best character in the series. Thank you. Yeah, his backstory just it's such, I don't know. It came, that was inspiration. Just came to me at once. It was he's a fun character, and that's why I think he could totally carry his own title. Like obviously I got to tell the story that is in Downcast, but Monster is a big part of it. So I've got a few other characters that I want to introduce. Not quite yet, but we'll see. I don't want to screw this up. I might though. That's as good as it's gonna get. Draw these lines. I'm amazed at how Kier can draw Monstro in such like a loose way when you look at it, but it doesn't look loose. It doesn't look sloppy. I don't know else to say that. It looks like so sharp and planned, but you look at his lines and it's really loose. Comes with being a really good artist, I guess. That's not bad. That's not too bad. All right. Yeah, so Mantra is going to be in it. The first issue, so this will be 3 more chapters. The first one is going to have, I mean, all the characters are going to be in it, but there's action. You have the Monstro, and that's the piece that you took the sticker from, Snuggie. It's from that issue. And then we've got Joanne kind of doing her own thing off to the side. They will cross paths, but we do have a story from the Monstro's history. It's a flashback, but it's a full issue. Eric drew that whole thing, so Nacho's still on the book. He's drawing like current timeline, but Eric drew the flashback. It looks so good. He killed it. I gotta get it colored though, so I gotta find the right colors for that. But yeah, he did a fantastic job, and the way that it worked out is it's good because it's just the information you need to know at that time from the Monstro's past to understand what's going on. I think you're gonna dig it. That was super fun because I feel like you could probably read that one issue, like just that issue, if you hadn't read anything Downcast, and you would know what's going on. Like you could follow. It's almost like it could just be a one shot of this story, but it's actually, once you read it, it's super important to like what's going on. So, all right. Let me get that around. So shoulders aren't exactly perfectly round. They kind of have a little shape to them. And then he's got his little, is it a utility belt? I don't know. That's coming around here. We got hips. This is a very strange angle for hips, but we're going to just kind of realize sometimes you just do it confidently, I guess. And people will believe you. I don't know. That's my theory. Armor. Okay, we got this thigh armor going down here. Maybe it's better. Let's see. Snuggie says chew gum too. I know it's hard, man. Launch now, please. I need this campaign to do its best. So yeah, I think honestly, just shipping out Fatal is going to be huge for it. I've considered printing out just like a, I don't know, just like a mailer or something to stick in a postcard. That's the word I'm looking for. A postcard, and then I could say, "Hey, check out Downcast 4 is the pre-launch page. It's launching as soon as Fatal's done shipping." Like potentially, I could launch it in January, which is really soon. It's not finished yet, but I actually don't have money. To say it bluntly, I ran out of money to work on it. So when I finish Fatal, that'll, I don't know, hopefully get some more people into it, and I can launch the campaign. I'm fairly confident that just launching the campaign, I'll be able to get enough funds to finish everything. But I really wanted to have it done, completed ahead of time. But it's gonna launch one way or the other. Yeah, JK, wait for the right time. Yeah, it's close though, for sure. Because it just sitting there is not a good thing. Like the one thing it needs. Well, I need to finish this. I need to finish Fatal, but I once it's finished, I can actually go back and start. There are some things that I can work on my end on Downcast 4, but it's possible that when I send Nacho the last script for the last chapter, then he might just work on it himself. He's offered that before. I'd rather just pay him as we go along, but we'll see. But yeah, him working on that will be nice. And there's really not, it's 2/3 of the way done. I do have to get colors though. Okay, there's a hand back there. I'm not sure how small to make it. If it just looks, we'll do a fist here. And it's a sketch card. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a sketch, right? That's what I'll tell myself. I actually think that makes it better when I say that, though. It's like less pressure. There we go. Yeah, postcard, it's a cheap enough thing to do. And Fatal's shipping to over 2,000 people. I don't know how many of those 2,000 people are going to be enthralled with how long Fatal took, but the part of it's like, you don't understand. Downcast is a totally different thing. It is not going to take that long to do. In fact, I really think there could be a route for me releasing more Downcast like twice a year. I don't know if the market could absorb that though, if that would be too much. I think if people are enjoying it, then, why not? Like, you'd want to read more, right? I mean, more frequently. It's not necessarily more. But how much is too much? Do you guys have, do you feel the backer fatigue? Hey, Randy. Great to see you here. Sometimes I do. There's just too much coming out. Downcast 2 times a year would be great. I think it's really doable, and that's like mainstream comics. That would be comparable. That'd be like 6 issues a year, so that would be, the equivalent of 6 issues a year. Be a ton of work, but it would be really cool. You feel like you could get through the story in a timely manner. I also thought about doing a Monstro miniseries, and I really hate this foot. It looks terrible. Monstro miniseries that's released in single issues first, as opposed to what I've been doing. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. I don't know. The few of you that are in here, what do you think? Would you want to do that, or do you like just the graphic novel route? Like, just stick with what works? Because I don't know, it could be cool. Do you just get more releases of it? And I'd probably launch it like a subscription, so you're backing it once, and then you just get, you know, you just get it. Not for fatigue for books I want. That's a good point. If you're anticipating it, because he's on volume 4 of She, Billy Tucci is, and that's one that I'm reading through. I'm all caught up with, and it's been fun to read it. The Jawbreakers, he's on 4, right? They're like, I'm reaching this point that there are really very few crowdfunded books that have reached, which is volume 4. So that's kind of a cool place to be. But for me personally, I'm going to keep reading Jawbreakers books because there's enough that I've already know about the characters, and I can keep following it. So I think there's something to that. All right. Little details. That shadow is basically all over down here. This should all be shadow because his arm is facing down. Shadow. So you guys are saying. War Party does it like that, and it seems to work. Oh, is it? Oh, single issues first, or you mean twice a year? He's another creator that's been killing it, doing good stuff. Was the postcard I did just to get people to back the book, or do you actually advertise in your book? No, yeah, it wouldn't be in the book. It would just be a postcard with probably a QR code that takes them to the pre-launch page. Once they get to the pre-launch page, they can sign up or whatever. And if they happen to get it later, like if they're in Europe or something, they're getting that QR code very, very late. It should send them right to the campaign. So that would be the hope. But yeah, it would just be an advertisement kind of thing. And you could put some cool art from the new book. I personally prefer graphic novels because I reread my comics quite a bit, and that's the better format for multiple reads. Wait, what was the question? Yeah, no, totally. Snuggie says single issues. This has been something I go back and forth on. I personally really like single issues for the covers. I mean, I like to read them, but you're right. I read them once, then I bag and board them, and I put them up on my spinner rack or in a long box or something, and I like to go back and flip through them. However, having said that, like I've got some runs of comics that I want to reread, and it sounds like a pain to me to go through single issues, and so I'd rather have them collected. So I can see that. I also prefer graphic novels. Ping Murph and see how he does it. Yeah, I got to talk to Murph. I haven't talked to Professor Murph in a long time. Because he's doing single issues. He's doing them all in one. And he told me part of that was because he just loves single issues. Like, it's not, which is, I respect that. Because for me, I really want to please people. I want people to be happy. But like my wife says sometimes, like, I do that too much. Like, just do what you want to do. kind of thing. And so I respect that just do what you want to do. Uh, but I'm not really wired that way. So I don't know. I'm not sure. It would be more of an experiment. Downcast would continue on as it is, and that's sort of like the flagship story arc. But I have a story arc for the monster that would be called King Rat, inspired from, you guys heard that Modest Mouse song, King Rat? It's nutty, but I don't know, there's a story there, but I have like a villain that's figured out. I don't know, it's really important. It'd be like almost like pirates, like post-apocalyptic pirates is what it would be. And Monstro is beneath the ocean, like doling out justice. I have so many ideas for Monstro. And that's on top of Downcast, like the rest of the storyline for Downcast. So I don't know. I just thought it could be fun to do single issues so that you get it more frequently. I don't know. See, I like single issues for new books I'm not familiar with. I can buy a single issue, sample the series, and see if I like it. That's true. And I have had people say with Downcast and the alternate issues that they're like, yeah, I don't want to buy a full crowdfunded book, but for $2, you know. Resident antagonist Sup can't stay long. Tell Snogans to get to work. He's done. He's finished. That's the good news. He's still that's a whole I don't understand the life of working in advertising. That poor guy. He's just so stuck in advertising work. And then between jobs, he like pulls his head out of the sand and can do other things, I guess. But yeah. Also, how dare you waste time streaming when you should be making comics? 100%. Yeah, these were paid for, so I gotta do these. But yeah, I'm so excited. Tonight I'm finishing it, sending it off to the printer. We've been through editing ad nauseum. I think I'm in a pretty good groove now. I got out the extra pages. I did, the fan art section. I did, like, all of that is finished. So it's just sending it to the printer. I just got to make sure that the file is good. But I told the printer that I would have it to them Friday, which is tomorrow. So that's totally realistic. Could reverse the current printing, trade paperback, then alternate floppies to floppies. Then yeah, I gotcha. And that's what I thought, because that's what most people do. And you sometimes you think, well, I mean, why like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I'm already, like, kind of the point is that currently right now, single issues are normally the first release, and I am already changing that, with my format. And it's not crazy because this is crowdfunding. It's just not the same. But if I was doing single issues, here's the thing. I can do a smaller bite, so it costs less upfront for me to produce. It takes far less time. And then if you just subscribed, like, hey, I'm going to get an issue, you could pay all at once. I mean, that's how Marvel subscriptions used to work. Like, when I started actually reading current comics, that's what I did. That's a long story. But I was thinking you could do brainstorming here. So you get a single, you subscribe to the whole thing. There's going to be 5 or 6 issues in the story arc that are coming. And you're going to get those over the course of a year and a half, something like that. You can order them, and they're like $3.99 a piece. So it's like comparable to what comics cost in a comic shop right now. And then from there, the money's in how you ship it. So if you want me to ship it like a magazine, so it's just in clear plastic with maybe holes poked through it, and you're gonna get it, and it's gonna be a little beat up, but you can read it. You could do that, and it would be whatever shipping's gonna be. It's gonna be really inexpensive for shipping. Or if you want them to be in good shape, it's gonna ship in a Gemini. It's like, we're gonna take care of you. And it's going to cost more. So then you decide, I mean, again, not ridiculous. It's just a Gemini mailer. but the price would kind of scale. So it could be very inexpensive for people to just get, if they just want the comic books and they don't really care too much about the condition, you could do it that way. That's how a lot of people are shipping comic book subscriptions anyway, or magazines. You just treat it like that. Or if you want it, pristine, ship it out pristine. And then you can move on from there. I'm going to let this sit, by the way, and do the second one because I don't know. I just want to look at it before I do any shadows or anything. Anyway, so then you get the book. It's all done. There's no 100% promise that there's going to be a trade paperback, because that's the thing, is if people are waiting for the other version, if you're going to be a trade waiter kind of thing, which I've absolutely do all the time, it kind of undermines the process. Printing would be a lot cheaper, though. I don't know. I just think it would be cheaper to get stories out faster, or more frequently, not faster, more frequently. I don't know. It does sound like there's a lot of risk involved too. So, but it's interesting. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. I also like what you've been doing, which is putting the graphic novel out first and then having the alternate issues later. Yeah. And I don't see anything wrong with that. It's just it's just the way I've been doing it. So probably the smart thing to do would be just stick to what I know works. That would be what a smart person does. Floppy is also nice because you can lay the book flat when reading. That's a great point. This is why I like omnibuses as well. A pet peeve of mine is when the art gets cut off in the gutter for a bound comic book. Totally. Yeah, I'm finding that the older I get, I like an omnibus. Like, that's big enough that has a sewn binding and all that jazz. Tell Snogans to stream again. We miss him. Yeah. Shout him out on Twitter. I don't know. He definitely just disappears for like long periods of time. And he made a point, because I would email him about Fatal like all the time. I am sure he's pretty annoyed with me. But he would make a point to respond like within 24 hours. Now, since October, since he's been finished, he does respond, but he takes a lot longer. And I think that's because he knows he's not, he's not worried about me being like, where did you go? Because I have the artwork. So yeah, sounds cool. It could be awesome. Eric's here. Hello, Eric. You're welcome to jump in if you like. No pressure, but you're welcome to jump in. I know like draw streams aren't for everyone, but honestly, these are some of my earliest memories of like when I started, Richard C. Meyer, the whole history. But like I started tuning in, and I think it was Mike S. Miller's channel, and he was just on there drawing. Everyone was just drawing and working on stuff. And I think it was Kanan White and Elliot Fernandez just doing character designs and stuff. And that was it was just fun to watch them draw. They're just really talented. It was just kind of fun to be a fly on the wall. Will you be on a while still? Yeah, I got to do this card. So probably half an hour at least, minimum. I do have to get back to pre-press later, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever you think. I'm having fun all the same, so don't feel pressured, Eric, but I always love to see you. So either way is good. So there's my first Monstro. Let's look back at some. Let's share the screen here. Okay. So that's how I got that down. I'll have to, there's there's what I started. Here is what I ended with. Not perfect, but it's not finished either. That's enough. Oh, Eric says Christmas shopping right now. Yeah, keep doing your thing. No stress. All right, so we need another good pose for Monstro. That could be a good one. Here's a dude just standing. That wouldn't look quite as good. I forgot I got to do chains in this other one. That's always a part of Monstro. Dudes jumping. I almost want to say like football player poses. Here's the dude like gonna spike a ball. Hmm, that could be cool. I'd have to invent the rest though. Could I turn that sideways? I don't know if I'm that good. Imagine, I always think being this guy posing, he's a he wants to be an actor, okay? Put yourself in this place. He wants to be an actor and he gets on whatever Craigslist or whatever the thing is now, and he's looking for acting jobs, and someone says, "I'm making stock photos for art references. I need an actor that doesn't have a beer gut, that and has hair. That's all I need." And so you respond, and then they have you paint your face like this, and then you're hunched down somewhere in a stranger's garage while they take pictures. Who knows how this story goes? That's what I always imagine, though. Even actors, like in films, I think that's they're doing something really embarrassing. Like this guy, look at that. I appreciate it because surely this could be Craven the Hunter. I mean, this could be Spider-Man climbing up a wall. It could be any number of things, but that guy has got to be thinking, what am I doing with my life? There's a pose. That's a good Spider-Man pose. Let me see. Ooh, like a boxing pose could be nice. What about that? That one right there with his dukes up, ready to fight. Let's try that. It's really small. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Same thing here. That's the hardest part, I think. Well, I mean, it's not, none of it's easy, but it is very difficult to find reference photo. So he's going to be cut off at the thighs, which is, I guess, okay. So we'll get that first. His head kind of tilted forward, so his chin's down. Something like that. I don't know. Shoulder back. Shoulder forward. Feels like the shoulders are a big deal that I have a really hard time figuring out how someone's standing until I know exactly where their shoulders are. Okay, Duke's up. Sorry guys, I can't really talk during this part. It's too hard. Something like that. Okay, the line down the middle of his body is going down right there. His hips are in fighting position. Can hips be in fighting position? Sure. He's got one leg out. Something like that. Other leg forward ish. Something like that. Nope, his hips are too rotated. This dude's like ripped. This is why I can't draw myself. I could probably do myself as a Monstro because he's got all that armor on, but I'm not fit enough to like be a good model. I'm a big believer that everybody wants to see good looking people. Even in my job, I do a lot of marketing flyers. Did you guys know I work in marketing now, by the way? Partially because of actually comic books. I like it quite a bit, actually. It's really busy, but let's see. Good enough. That'll work, I think. Ish. Maybe his waist is... Maybe he needs to have a lower hip line. I kept raising it up. Yeah, there we go. So his knee is going to be a little lower. I don't know. There's a sketch. Let's see. So there's actually a dude there. It doesn't look like the Monstro right now. I gotta say too, Monstro, I think, is the reason Downcast 3. How much did we raise? 40 something thousand. for a Downcast title, and for the third one especially. That was fantastic. And I'm going to put so much of it on that one image that Nacho did of the Monstro standing in front of the shark. People loved that. That it was such a great image. He did so good. Everyone's saying hi. Will you be doing the Alterna auction this weekend? I don't know. I didn't realize it was this weekend. I think I know things have been really busy and stuff for Peter. I think maybe he's rotating people. I just haven't heard anything about the auctions. I don't know if I get invited to the auction. Can I this weekend? It depends on what time. I might be able to. We'll see though. Resident Antagonist says, I've commissioned reference photos. The model actually really got into it. Voluntarily cosplayed for the photos and such. Gave about 3 times as many poses as I paid for. That is genius. Well, right. There's got to be people that, I mean, because if we go back to my little story here, there have got to be people that do these poses just to sell themselves. Like he's in his own garage doing reference photos so he can sell them. That's not a bad idea. Actually, that's a really good idea. How much did it cost? Like how much would something like that cost? Because if you were going to do a whole book, and again, I don't need someone in a diving costume or anything like that, even though that's awesome that they did that. But yeah, if they had simple, like a fake gun or like a stick that you could use for a sword or anything like that they're holding, and just get into a lot of like fighting poses. That's a really good idea. Then I wouldn't have to do it. Amy's birdhouse looking good. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate that. Good to see her. That was a great image. Too bad for me that someone else snagged the cover art. I don't know if did I show you the cover art yet? I'm going to do it. I'm feeling so good that Fatal is like finished, like going to the printer. That I'm kind of in this I just don't care mood. But here, let me show you. I could show you both. Hold on here. I'm gonna share Eric's too. I don't know that I've ever shared his fully. Have I? I'm gonna find it. Give me 1 second, and then I'll share my screen. It's in my Dropbox. It's in Downcast 4. You're making a lot of comics when Dropbox tells you your Dropbox is almost full. That is something fully colored. Okay, I'm gonna show you everything fully colored here. Okay, here's this particular folder, and if you, let's see, this one. Wait, is this the JPEG? Is it not gonna tell me? Let's just open it. We'll see what happens. There we go. This is Eric Weathers' cover. So you can see Monstro's in it. He's super up close. And the way that we are planning on treating this, what's happening, he says. I'm showing it, Eric. I hope that's okay. So yeah, here you go. We have Jax here, and they're fighting this giant centipede who showed up at the very end, last page of the last book. So yeah, there you go. That is one. I think that was the right version too. I know we had some changes. I think, oh, maybe this was it. I can't remember. So then we have Matt Weldon, who did 2 versions. He did this one right here. Beautiful. And he did this one right here. And can I open them side by side? You will notice that one is, there we go. One is daytime and one is nighttime. He sent me the daytime one first, and I thought it had this cool kind of 1970s vibe to the colors. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It was like 1970s film look, like the color grading. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. Looks really cool. And then he said, or hold on a minute, let me send you one more. And then he said, here's a nighttime version. And when I look at them side by side, I think I like the nighttime version better. One, because this interaction here actually does take place at night, so that's one thing. The other thing too is this is during the summer solstice celebration, so it's like their 4th of July kind of thing in Strata, and so there could be, I thought later, I could do some fireworks back there. Not me. Go back to Matt and say, hey, can you add some fireworks in the background? That would make this thing just fit the story so well. But yeah, there's another one. So they're on the God hunt. So we got this. There's actually 3 in this particular. Actually, there's 4 if you include Eric's story. Yeah, it's hunting ground. So good stuff. I'm really excited about that. This is the T-shirt that I was going to launch for. It was going to be like the Black Friday sale thing. The more I thought about it, I thought, you know what? I'm going to let people. I'm just going to ship Fatal. Like that's the goal here. But yeah, this piece, that's a really bad version of it. There we go. Well, the background see through here. That's not great either. I want it on a white background. Anyway, there you go. So this was Kier Covington, and he did a killer job. I colored this, and I'll be the first to admit I'm not the best colorist, but I just really wanted to color it. So there we go. And so that'll be a t-shirt option for those of you that want a t-shirt. There's no reason why I can't do 2, because I thought I want to do one that just has the Downcast logo, perhaps. I think a lot of people just like it simple. So I might do that. But he did this piece for an auction. It was just too cool. So I paid him for the rights to do it on a t-shirt. And yeah, here it is. The rest is history. Let's see. I got the small set of poses, cost $350. Negotiate for the next set with more poses, and we'll probably come back about twice that. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's not nothing, but at the same time, would you pay, like, let's say $350 to $600 for enough artwork to do an entire comic book, like enough reference material? That sounds pretty nice, because it takes me so long to find references or take them. It's very hard to get what I want, and if someone has a good eye for that, if they're good at it, I don't know, I could see that being a good value. But won't the title be where the fireworks would be? Yeah, good point. And you could have some fireworks off to the side there. There's some sky, or maybe you see some reflection of fireworks. I don't know. It's not that important, really. The nighttime one, I just think works good. But liking the shirt, like Kier's art, gonna have it on the campaign. Yep, I'll have it on the campaign. Just make it simple. That way you can snag a t-shirt. I love the shirt that I won in the auctions. That's right. Yeah, pieces look great, and your coloring is thumbs up. Thank you. Coloring's fun. I wish I was really good at coloring. That would save me a lot of trouble. Just take my money already. Wait until launch till Fatal to fulfill is the right move, though, in my opinion. Yeah, you're right. I did that so many times where I was like, oh, I'm not gonna launch until Fatal's fulfilled, and then with Downcast 3, it was like, well, the whole book's done, and I'm really waiting on Fatal, and that's when I just found out that it was like it was going to take far longer than any of us had anticipated. So I just launched it, and then I did the same thing with Dracula, and I think people are kind of don't have the patience for that anymore. So it's the right thing to do. But also, I mean, it's one thing when you don't know when Fatal's going to be done, but it's done. So, there's no reason why it won't be shipping unless my printer does what his printer did and took like 4 months longer than they said they would. That better not happen. I will throw a fit. I don't know. Something bad will happen. There we go. Let's see. Shoulder. It's almost like football pads. Sometimes it feels like big ones. There we go. Monstro is kind of nice to draw because he's just a whole bunch of cylinders. And that's like the basic. Is that what they tell you? Like for basic drawing, just draw cylinders first. So you have the basic shapes. Then, you can draw all the other stuff. Well, then you're done. You draw the basic shapes and now you have the Monstro. Essentially, he's finished. So it's not too bad to draw. It's more comes down to like how do you make him look awesome. Like here, just made him look so awesome in that t-shirt that's how you get work. I'm telling you, because I would not have said I'm going to buy some artwork to do a t-shirt, but Kier's artwork was so great, I couldn't not. So then I've been asking him, hey, how much can I pay you just for the rights to make a t-shirt out of this thing? It's too good. He knows what he's doing. Okay. There's that. Hips, a little different. There's almost like a stormtrooper element too to his look that I'm not saying that was really the inspiration, but when Nacho did I did a character design for Monstro, and then I sent it to Nacho and I said, here's the character design. I was trying to be a lot more hands-on with character designs, to just ensure that they looked cool. And then he was more than happy to go that route. And he said, I can make it look cooler. And he did. Let's see. I line this up. Something like that. We'll do little crossbars. I don't know what they're called. Old timey divey suit. People still say, oh, it's like BioShock. Never played that game. If anything, I ripped this off from League of Legends because they have a diver in there that swings his anchor around. But none of them got a backstory like Monstro. It's just very different. Very unique. Okay, I'm going to have to look at some fist references because I'm not sure. That doesn't look too bad. There it is right now. I mean, this is not the most dynamic pose, but it's a Monstro sketch. So here we'll do some more inking. Can't talk when I'm doing delicate lines. We were talking about floppies versus graphic novel format. And I think it might have been the first, okay, it wasn't my first comic book, but it was like the comic book that got me as an adult, or, I was my early 20s, like really into comics. Like I was really high on comics after it. It was the DeFalco run on Spider-Man. I had just two consecutive issues, like random issues, and I never did find out what happened. But they were so fun to read. It was so good. And I never hear anybody talk about that run. So I looked to see if I could buy an omnibus for it so I could finish the story, and it doesn't exist. There's no omnibus for that run on Spider-Man. And I read a little bit about it, and people had some problems with it for, I guess, a number of reasons, but most people say it's the most underrated Spider-Man run. And I don't know if it's the most underrated, but I love it. And I credit it for like really getting me into comics. It was just so fun to read, those 2 issues. And so anyway, I went to eBay. I got a little bit of birthday money and went to eBay and I bought a bunch of those issues. They're cheap. I mean, for old books, they're cheap. Um, like really, yeah, they were cheap. Like not one of them was more than $5. Well, one of them was 10, I guess, but other than that, they were like 5 or under. Um, you were inspired by Nautilus? Yes and no. Well, yes, I was inspired by Nautilus. What I thought, here's how it went. So I had a character, I was doing the Secret History Strata, and there was the goal was like you had to tell the story of the stone. Like it's the MacGuffin for Downcast, essentially. But the stone is such a crucial part of the story. Like, where did this rock come from that can control gravity? And I didn't want it to just be, oh, well, it's a MacGuffin. Don't think too hard. And so I tried to explain it more, and it's almost like it's just a crucial part of the story, right? So I thought, well, I need a few stories throughout history and what happens when people find the stone. You find out that Rise ate the stone, right? And that was like the big reveal in the first one. And why would he eat the stone? That's really strange. But the Secret History of Strata explained that. And I thought, well, what would have happened back then? And I thought it'd be cool for someone to just drop this guy in the ocean, but what do they put him in? So I actually thought that maybe they'd stick him in a coffin and throw him overboard. But that didn't make sense because would you have a coffin if you're in the mid 1800s and you're on a ship, like an exploratory ship? Would you have a coffin, like just a spare coffin, sitting around? I don't think so. It just, I don't, you know what I mean? It just seemed like a stretch. So I thought there's got to be something better. So I kept trying to think of what they poured him. They doused him in ether, and poured him, dumped him overboard so that they wouldn't have to worry about him. So what would he be trapped in? And then I went and played some League with my brother, and there was Nautilus, and I was like, well, duh, they'd have a diving suit. So yes, it was inspired by Nautilus, but the backstory existed. But once you add the diving suit, now it's okay. So at first I was thinking he's gonna walk on the surface of the water just like a dude, like he'll be like a zombie almost, but unkillable zombie, and he's just a guy wandering the ocean floor until his wits come back. But then with him being in a diving suit, that's already a cool character design. I tried to do a very different diving suit than Nautilus. I mean, he does look very different than Nautilus. Nautilus is like a modern day, more modern kind of diving suit. And then people kept bringing up BioShock, and then I had to look it up, and I was like, oh, wow. Okay, I guess there's a diving suit in that too. So, I don't know. No regrets. It just worked out too well. I've got another character I want to introduce that's kind of important. And he's going to come up in probably the next Downcast book. Actually, the number 4, the one that's coming out soon, there's going to be some foreshadowing that you probably won't even notice until later. But he's going to be important. I think he'll be another character people are going to really dig. Characters are everything. Like, it's the only reason you want to read the book is because there's a cool character. I mean, the cool looking character is one thing, and that's important, but like following that up with a cool backstory and the whole shebang, it's everything. That's why Spider-Man is Spider-Man. And everyone else, here we go. Question: why did Steve Ditko and Stan Lee have so many problems with who created Spider-Man. Like, I think we know what the truth is. I think. I don't know. We know what they both say about it, but it just seems weird to me that this is such a thing. I don't know. Saw something about it on Twitter the other day. I guess I would want my piece of it. That's for sure. Let's see. They built coffins back then. It's true. Yeah, I mean, it would be wood. That's what I was thinking, a wooden coffin, and then he would break himself out. But again, once I saw Nautilus, Nautilus is one of the few I like playing. He's fun. He's a fun character. Yeah, it was just like it's armor, and then I can make him talk like a pirate. Basically, that's kind of his thing. I mean, he's an old timey like 1800s sailor explorer, so there's some of that. So he's really fun to write the dialogue for, and I want to do more characters like that have just different dialogue. It makes it so much fun to write. Gotta be responsible, get to sleep. Best of luck with everything. Can't wait to see Fatal and the next Downcast. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yep, I gotcha. Good night. Yeah, I'm taking my time. I'm a heck of a lot faster than I used to be at drawing. Actually think it was eye-opening when I went on with Spencer and I was drawing on his little Halloween stream, because I felt the pressure of needing to get this thing done within the stream, and it made me make decisions faster, and I think it actually made for the piece just look better, because I just make it like not like going over things like crazy, like just make a decision and move on. So that was kind of nice. So that was kind of my thought behind, hey, let's draw more, I guess. Those are thighs. Let's see. He's putting up his dukes. I gotta look at this reference to see how this guy's hands are facing. Well, it's just the back of his hand and some knuckle across the top. Knuckles. There we go. That works for me. Just one hand, two hand. I'm not going to overthink this. Fingers are... Why are they so hard? Not even AI can do fingers well, because they're that hard. Michael Bancroft, right? He can't do it either. Maybe. He's actually pretty good. I don't know. Does that work? Does that look okay? I need some chains. I need some variations in the... Let me see. I gotta figure out where the lighting is coming from, too. I think we'll say the light's in front of him. I'll kind of trace out some shadow. That's kind of been my new style. Trace out the shadow instead of just all this black. I guess his hips. Kind of tried on some Mike Mignola, and it was fun. The difference is I'm not Mike Mignola. So I got this other thing going right now. So hard to talk. There we go. Shadow right there. Sure. Okay. These aren't done because I got to do chains, and I got to do the gray tones. I like that look. I'm aiming for exactly this style is what I'm aiming for. And that's Copic marker, by the way. So Fun stuff. All right, cool. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks, Randy. I'm gonna finish these off, and probably this weekend. Honestly, I got to get to some pre-press. For Fatal, I'm gonna send that off to the printer and celebrate somehow. It's gonna be beautiful. It's not gonna fill over until I got the books and they're shipping, but it is just incredible. I'm so excited to get that book out for so many reasons. But last but not least, I'm really happy with this story. Doing it Marvel method was at first like just different challenge, but it worked out. It was really fun. And I tried slightly different style than what I do as far as writing goes. I think it's a fun story, so I think you're gonna like it. That's shipping out. Downcast 4 will be coming out. We're gonna launch the campaign. I have so many questions too, because I'm wondering, do I do the 2 campaign thing or my own site kind of thing too? It seems like that's becoming the new latest trend. I haven't had any problems with Indiegogo directly, but again, I don't know. We'll play it by ear. I think I'm just gonna plan to launch on Indiegogo alone, and if something terrible happens, then I'll be open to other options. And I could do pre-orders on my website. I don't know. Bancroft's building one. Maybe I just put it on his site. He can just, we'll just put it on there. I'll drive traffic to his site. I don't know. I don't really want to make up my own. And I don't know. That fractioning of everybody doing their own site. I don't know. Maybe I will. I could be convinced. We'll see. Hey, Roland. Sorry. I'm leaving right now, but it's good to see you. I appreciate you all. See you in the next video, and I promise I'll have more time to make more videos, but we'll probably do some more like this too. And I don't even care about views. Like it's whatever. We're just hanging out and making some comics. That's the point. Anyway, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.